And Russian President Vladimir Putin likened the sanctions passed by the U.S. and other nations to declaring war on Russia as Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky continues to plead for a no-fly zone. Retired Air Force Lieutenant General Richard Newton joins us now on NewsNation Prime. Welcome back. So the U.S. obviously trying not to be engaged in World War III, especially given the nuclear threat, right? But Putin is also saying a no-fly zone would be an act of war. He also calls sanctions an act of war. It seems like he's doing everything possible to bring the West in and engage the U.S. Is that what he wants?
Well, I think what he wants also at this point is to really try to control the narrative, which he's losing at this point, obviously, with President Zelensky and a more unified West. But lots of discussion on the no-fly zone, especially the last couple of days, because the tensions are obviously rising with the atrocities that are being made against the civilian population of Ukraine. One point I'd like to make is it's one thing to talk about a no-fly zone. It's another thing to actually enforce and maintain a no-fly zone. Very difficult 24/7. Secondly, my sources tell me, and from what I understand of the capabilities of the Ukrainian Air Force and so forth, I'm not sure they have the airfields that could help us sustain a no-fly zone across what is essentially the size of Texas. The third, as we've talked about, you and I at length, is this idea of drawing a conflict between Russia and the West, or Russia and NATO, or Russia and the United States. Now you're talking potentially World War III. So it's again, it's very tough to say or to even plan, much less execute. That said, I think we're going to see more and more pressure, as our reporting tonight has indicated, from the civilians, from President Zelensky, from the world watching this conflict play out in even more treacherous ways.
And Putin today speaking with Israeli leader Naftali Bennett, is there a real chance that Israel could help diplomatically here? Why Israel?
Well, I think it's Putin trying to have or to control the narrative. Again, I say this narrative, but now in the diplomatic standpoint, he's trying not to be seen as just a world tyrant. He's trying to see now, that the world sees him as a diplomat, as someone who can be reckoned with. And so it's an interesting card for him to play in that playbook to actually engage Israel. But again, I don't think you're going to see much come of that, other than, again, Putin trying to maintain some modicum of high ground so he can report to his people, but also report to allies and friends, which are limited right now, that he's playing out all stops to try to close the conflict diplomatically. But again, what's happening right now, as we see on our screen, the plight of the Ukrainian people, the horrendous attacks on civilian targets and so forth. Again, that's just not going to come to fruition in terms of anybody giving him any credibility of being a statesman.
And Putin also saying Ukrainians risk losing their statehood if they continue to resist, this rhetoric continuing. That's already happening, it looks like. Or is the idea that he'll isolate certain regions of the country as he did with Crimea?
Yeah, great point, Rutabaga. I mean, he's the invader here. He has attacked a sovereign state. He is the one that holds all the cards. He may end up winning the invasion, but again, it will be indistinguishable in terms of the defeat, an ensuing defeat of a long-term follow-on unconventional or guerrilla warfare, or whatever it may be. But again, this is all on him. And so for him to have the audacity to say that, to attacking a sovereign nation, and again, really his aim here is to bring Ukraine back to the old former Soviet orbit. That's the bottom line here.
And we've talked about Putin's indiscriminate targets, going after civilians, the Ukrainians continuing to put up a stiff fight. But can you see how that strategy might actually work if leaders eventually just give up in order to prevent more of their people from dying? I mean, it's worked before.
It has worked before, but it also didn't work in 1940, 41, 42, when the Germans were bombing, the British. They actually became even more emboldened. But fast forward to today, I believe what he's done, his unleashing of weapons against civilian targets and the atrocities we're seeing play out, I think is working tremendously against him. And it has emboldened the Ukrainian people. It's emboldened President Zelensky. It's also emboldened and actually unified NATO. And so, again, there is nothing, he can't put that back, together in terms of trying to reconcile these atrocities. He has now designated Rudabeh as a war criminal. And the evidence playing out before our very own eyes, that's not going to change. And so it's going to get more and more difficult for him, certainly in the world of not only public opinion, but the actual views of Putin, not only overseas from Russia, but also for his domestic audience as well.
All right. Always so helpful to speak with you and have you break it down for us, Lieutenant General Newton. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.